Hail and Masha's Kingdom, welcome to the Dragon Age Veilguard, and today I will be showing my new build for a mage. This build is truly amazing, but to make everything work, we need the right skill tree. And also at the right time, because as you can see we got a lot of levels over here. It's almost maximum level character. It's complete skill tree, but I will explain everything from the beginning to the gear that you will need to make everything work. And also companions to make it even more broken. So, let's start with a skill tree. And it's actually pretty easy and also pretty flexible way to build your character. So, first of all, this build will be played with Spellblade Specialization, but this specialization will be blocked behind level 20 at first, and also these two parts over here will be locked behind level 30 and level 40. So we need the right choices before we're going over here, and the right choices will be basically like flexible. You see the full tree right now, you can like print screen it. But let me explain what we got here to make everything work. First of all, I'm using Fate Strike because I like this double evasion, and also then I will be able to do some damage. And basically we're going in over here first. So we're going in the bottom part of the tree, closer to our Spellblade Specialization. We're getting mana regeneration, we're getting this skill, Chain Lightning. You can use it in early game, it's a pretty powerful one. And since if you go forward over here, down here, it will be taking you around like 10 levels or so. I actually recommend getting a few abilities over here. Maximum mana plus 50 is a great update, great note over here. This extra mana will help you in the early game a lot. And also get these abilities, gain 15% bonus damage based on the damage type of your staff and orb. And we will be playing a Spellblade with orb and dagger, of course. This will be our main weapon. And you just need to look for the orb with electric damage at first. And just play as electric mage. So after these two nodes, just go down and get concentration, bonus to charge attack damage, get energy burst, and that's the main stuff for our build. Abilities that deal fire or electric damage will increase other type damage by 15% for 10 seconds. So basically, you will start fight by casting Arcane Shot, for example, and then you instantly cast Chain Lightning. Chain Lightning will have extra damage, and then next Arcane Shot will have extra damage too, and you just go back and forth between Lightning and Fire damage types. And yeah, today we're building this Fire Lightning Mage, more on this in a second, but early game just go for this physical resistance plus 10 and also get this medium armor mastery. So for this build we want to use medium armor and medium helmet. It will give us more critical damage, final damage, charge attack damage and agile damage. That's great part because we basically getting almost for free this 20% bonus to almost every type of our attacks. And then just unlock everything in this area. So what we will unlock here? We'll get in penetration to penetrate enemy armor, we get in perfect defense, grant shocking weapons, and shocking weapons is a buff that will deal extra electric damage on hit, so that's a nice buff to be able to take this buff. And we get in this stagger from charge attacks plus 20%, and upgrading blast abilities. Blast abilities will deal 50% more damage versus barrier and armor, strike abilities will deal 50% more stagger, light attack damage will be more reliable versus health, strike abilities will do critical hit, and then give you quickened that will quickly refresh your cooldown so you can spam more abilities, and we upgrading blast abilities to deal critical hits to enemies with low health. So basically, when you land blast ability on enemy with low health, you will gain this quickened lowered cooldown. And what is blast and also strike ability at the same time? It will be our main ability over here. So yeah, Void Blade right after we get specialization. So after we get everything here, just pick these nodes. Storm Surge, pretty nice, no mana cost spell, and basically you want to start with the spells, then cast your fire spells and lightning spell again, and that's how we play in early game. I will show you in a second, but anyway. Final attack damage plus 10%, damage versus armor plus 20%, and also ability to use our Triangle button at the end of our combination, so 3 light attacks followed by heavy attack will be throwing blade action, and that's great. That's where we need to jump into gameplay a little bit. And that's the weakest point of normal Spellblade Mage, in my opinion. I mean, any mage who is not Spellblade, actually, who's using dagger and sword. Basically, you shoot like this, and you need to go into melee range. And this mage is a very close combat mage, but still pretty squishy. So this new ability gives us ability to make this combination, and that's basically gives us ability to stand from the range, from enemies, and do our stuff, make our attacks, do some fireballs, blasts, and basically have fun. So after we learn everything over here, we going down into Spellblade Specialization. And as I told you, this specialization will be locked behind level 20. So I will explain what and when we get over here, and then I will explain other parts of the tree and when you want to go for them. After you get your Spellblade at level 20, you will get this new ultimate, which is really insanely overpowered crow attacks that doing big lightning damage ball and applying 2 stacks of shocked. Void Blade is insane, that will detonate thunder to do nice electricity damage, and its strike and blast ability at the same time. And first of all, we're going to the left part, getting final attack damage plus 10% and making our blast abilities cost 50 less mana. And at the same time, we're picking the right part, we're making penetration plus 15% and giving us ability to detonate arcane bombs with strike ability. That's what I first thought. But actually, when you hit enemies with strike abilities, they will build arcane bomb instantly, and you can easily hit with 2 arcane bombs at the same time if using strike ability and then followed by 3 light attacks. That's pretty crazy combination. And it will look like this. You're basically hitting with your strike ability first, and then hitting 3 light attacks followed by triangle, and it will detonate 2 arcane bombs at the same time, which is pretty insane. But we will play with only 1 strike ability. It will be Void Blade, of course, but that's fine. So, when you hit level 30, you want to pick Spirit of Vengeance. Now you can throw Spirit Blade twice, and that's also a big deal, so you can deal crazy amounts of damage to enemies. And then we get an Arcane Bomb stacks plus 1. So this basically will give us ability to make 2 Arcane Bombs on top of each other, which is insane on hardest difficulties. And then defeating enemy with 1 or more Arcane Bombs will make effect to jump to nearest enemy. That's very nice ability to have, because sometimes you stack some Arcane Bomb, you defeat enemy without activating Arcane Bomb, and you basically wasted this like attacks, but no more. Now this bomb will jump to nearest enemy and you can detonate him. And then we get an Orbital Burst. When triggering Arcane Bomb, you will also blow enemies in 6-meter radius, which is insane area effect damage. And on level 40, you picking the last part over here, so you're getting Wheel Fury, you're getting maximum shocked and burning stacks plus 1, and this is like the most broken part that will completely break the game for you at level 40. Applying burning also applies shocked and vice versa. And achieving maximum shocked stacks on enemy triggers electric burst in area around them. So now I guess you've seen where we're going. So with our spells, we will be able to apply burning, but also we will apply shocked at the same time. So basically you shoot an enemy with arcane shot, it will apply burning on enemy, its projectile blast, and it will critical hit enemies with low health, but most of the time you just lower enemies enough so you can hit them with Void Blade, which is strike blast, and it will critical hit and also give your shocked weapons, and you will be just completely broken, overpowered guy right now, who can apply a lot of stacks of burning and shocked at the same time. For this character, you want to play as Mourn Watch, so if you're just creating character, go for Mourn Watch. Mourn Watch will have this nice extra stacks buff, but whatever. So, where we go next? Next, we want to go to the Fireball spell as fast as possible. And this means basically that if you got some spare skills before level 20, you can do it in this game, because you can like find some wolf statues and get more points. Then just go to Fireball faster. And this will kinda make build for you, but to understand how build works completely, you need to understand our gear first. So, the gear will be around Mage's Gambit. Mage's Gambit is insane legendary orb. It can be your common orb, of course. If you don't know how gear works in this game, basically, first of all, you will find item that is uncommon with just 1 bonus. As you can see, 3 bonuses locked right now. But when you find duplicates, it will be upgraded to rare, to epic, and then to legendary tier. So all you need to do is to find multiple mage gambits and you will be fine. And to find it, just go and open chests everywhere. 1 copy of Mage Gambit can be found in the lighthouse, actually, if you go and unlock all chests over there. But it's pretty secret chests, so just watch video in the description where I'm showing some secret weapons you can find in this game. But for now, basically you want to use Mage Gambit, you will find it anyway in this game. It can randomly drop from chests. And what is the cool part about this awesome orb? So it's doing crazy amounts of stagger, and also final attack damage will be more powerful, but it got pretty fun effect. When you hit enemy with final attack, it will alternate damage type to electric or to fire damage. Then you will have more fire and electric damage, and then you will have ability to apply burning or shocked with critical hits. So you will apply a lot of dot effects, you will apply a lot of damage over time, you will have more fire and electric damage, and for using fire and electric skills, and that's pretty like insane stuff. Also, it's very good because some enemies will have resistance to electric, but vulnerability to fire, for example, and vice versa. And you can easily alternate between each type of damage, and that's how you use this orb. So if you see that it's doing right now lightning damage, you just need to make full combination and it will alternate to fire orb. But you need to hit enemy actually. And then you just never do final attack, so you just do 3 hits and then throw your sword, that's it. And you can stay with fire, so like pretty OP stuff, you don't need to change this build any way, like anytime. Then we got Enchanted Atem or something like this. So, that's a great dagger, it will give you more maximum mana, you will gain more mana on hit with this weapon, and also you will deal 10% more damage for every 50 mana that you are missing. And we will start fight with magic every time, we will lose a lot of mana, and then when we get in our mana back, we will detonate arcane bombs, hitting with crazy amounts of damage, and that's pretty like great blade. Also, when it's fully upgraded, abilities will cost more mana but deal 50% more damage. That's pretty nice buff in my opinion. And to find this blade, you need to go for respected like relative faction quests. As you can see, it's Octopus, and Octopus, if I'm not mistaken, is Lords of Fortune, so you will see Hall of Whaler. Basically, you need to go to Hall of Whaler, do some companion quests over there, and probably some Rivian Coast quests, and you will find multiple copies of this dagger over there. For dagger, you can use another options if you don't like this extra mana. You can use Thorn of Misfortune for extra critical damage with Arcane Bomb, and also Arcane Bomb can be applied a lot more quicker, and with full combination you will apply 2 Arcane Bombs, so pretty nice dagger. And last but not least is Spellcaster's Stiletto, very nice dagger too. It will give you mana regeneration, defense, and each arcane bomb on enemy will reduce outgoing damage, and you will gain 20 defense per active advantage. You will see I will have insane amount of advantages with this build, so that's a great option too. Daggers is really optional, so you can pick any you like, but what is not optional is our helmet. It's Defiant Silence. So this helmet will give us critical damage, will give us 25% stagger with critical hits, and critical damage related to Shadow and Dragon allied strength. This means you need to upgrade Shadow Dragons to make this helmet more powerful, but coolest part, when you upgrade this helmet, you will have 10% chance to deal critical damage with any weapon attacks. So, like a lot more critical hits, a lot more stagger with critical hits, very nice and powerful helmet. This build is insanely good on hardest difficulty, because we got not only insane damage but also insane protection. We're using medium armor, and as you can see, this armor researches code. Mournwatch armor is very powerful since it's giving us 20% damage while at low health. So if we drop health a little bit, we can actually finish enemy a lot faster, but we will leech 5% of damage as health when we upgrade this armor, and that's a great part. We got insane defense, but also we leech in damage when we deal in damage, and we will be basically unkillable even without using any potions. And when you upgrade this armor even more, you will have defense that will be increased by % of missing health, and each leech effectiveness will be tripled versus bleeding enemies. So that's the only small problem for our build. We don't have bleed in our arsenal, but in reality we will be able to deal bleeding effect on enemies too. Just stay tuned and I will explain how to do it to completely break the game. So for belt, honestly you can use any belt you like. When playing on hardest difficulty, I like to use this golden Hala Sash for invulnerability on potion use, for more health, and deflect on potion use. It's really nice protective stuff. But you can just go with Warden's Traps for more fire damage, Warping Wrap for mana generation, even Twin Buckle Binding for more ability damage, quickened on potion use, enhanced damage on potion use, or Jumper's Binding for electric damage. So it's up to you, just pick any belt you like. But rings and amulets is really important. So amulet will be All Mother's Corpse. You will have bonus to blast ability damage to barrier, 25 mana when blast ability deals critical damage, and blast abilities will get added damage from shocking weapons, and we can easily activate shocking weapons as you already know. And for our rings, we get an electric damage ring, Focus of the Wheel, and also Warden's Signet for fire damage. Coolest part, these rings is basically the same. They're giving us fire damage, fire resistance, fire ability damage against armor, or electric damage against barrier, and also 50% of other damage types will go into fire damage. So with these rings, we're basically increasing our damage of our orb in both types. For runes, we're going with electric damage rune, fire damage rune, and stagger rune. You can alternate it depending on your difficulty and how you play. You can have defensive runes if you wish, but for maximum damage, that's what we want to have. And for our skills, we're going with Meteor, we're going with Void Blade, and Arcane Shot. And ultimate will be Thunderous End. So, last but not least, Augmentations. And augmentations will be unlocked when you advance through the storyline, and they will be in the main area at this workshop. So, enchantments for our gear will be 15% damage at high health for our arcane orb, but it's pretty late gameish stuff, and early game you can just go and pick something like 10% weapon damage or 25% stagger, or 20% final attack damage. Something from this. For our swords, we're going with 25% arcane bomb trigger damage. For coat, we're going with just flat health, and we want to have more health because we will have more damage at low health, and when having more health, it means low health will trigger a lot sooner. I hope it makes sense. Write something in the comments, yeah, it makes sense, if you understand what I'm talking about. And I hope you do. But anyway, for our helmet, we're going with ultimate generation, and we will be able to spam a lot of ultimate even without focusing on this stat. And that's mostly because I don't know what is any other better upgrades for our helmet. I don't see any. You can go with flat health also with some defense, but it's almost useless. And I like to have ultimate generation. And for amulet, I'm going with 10% health damage because you will be fighting against health most of the time. Doing damage against health is nice and cool. And for our rings, we're going with area ability damage, bonus area ability damage. And for second ring, while you can go for strike ability damage, to fully upgrade one of your abilities. Actually, all abilities share area trait, but all of them kind of different. It's area blast, area strike, and I like to pick mana regeneration on my second ring. But that's not it. If you didn't know, you can augment your abilities. Yeah, you just need to press over here manually, and you will be able to augment your abilities. And for abilities, that's what I'm picking. I'm getting 50% damage for Fireball, 50% damage for Arcane Shot, and 25% ability stagger for my Void Blade. So, we're almost ready to show you the combat and how it will look like, but as I told you, we need right companions. And for companions, I really like to use at least one mage to be able to slow down time. And also heal myself just in case I need to do it between fights most of the time, to not waste my potions. And basically that's how my leveling is look like. For time slow, we're going full center road, and it will give us ability to deal more damage when time slow is active. And the next ability will cost no mana. That's like a great part over here. Other stuff doesn't matter, they just buff time slow a little bit, and heal will be leveled like this. Again, minus 20% duration of cooldown, and most importantly, when you have low health, replenish automatically triggers if it's not on cooldown. And it won't make this ability on cooldown, so you can actually use it basically 2 times. And because it will be triggered automatically at low health, I like to pick when you have low health, healing is increased by 50%. When you use it, you will gain 20% of your ultimate, you will be immovable and also invulnerable at low health. So pretty nice leveling stuff. But second companion will be Lucanis. Yeah, Lucanis, and what you want to have this Crow Keeper dagger on him. So definitely find this dagger, and with Lucanis in the party, your critical ability hits will apply bleeding. And that's how we will apply bleeding easily. Also for second weapon, go with balanced EP. It will give attack my target applies bleeding versus mages. So you will have a lot of abilities to apply bleeding. Most of the time you will apply it with your critical ability hits. And for Trinket, I like to use Antivian Blade Kit. Each affliction on enemy also reduces their defense by 10%. For abilities we use in Debilitate to apply Thunder that we can detonate, and Adrenaline Rush for enhanced damage. And if you're curious, I like to use Belara as my second companion with Concentration Longbow that can apply vulnerability to electric damage when she attacks my target, and also our critical hits will apply shocked condition, so that's like a great buff for us. And before I will explain how we level while we progress towards level 40, let's actually see this awesome Spellblade in action. It will be hardest difficulty, so enemies will have pretty high health. So basically we need to make sure to alternate between our abilities. That's why we will most of the time start the fight with Fireball, then we close the distance and followed by our this like Blast Dagger ability. Then most of the time I like to disengage and throw my Blast. After Blast I activate Slow Time and cast another Fireball without mana cost and entering the fight again. And every time I feel like it, I'm basically spamming my arcane bombs with full combination. So let's do it. We're starting with Fireball, enhancing damage of our light ability, and instantly we hit 10 damage of our next fire ability. Now we can just spam some fire bombs and activate double arcane bomb at the same time, and we get really nice stagger. So again, we need to understand, do we do it in like vulnerable damage or no? He is resistant to our damage type for now for some reason, and I really don't understand why, but this critical is pretty insane. Now he is vulnerable, that's how it should work. But basically we need to detonate this Thundered, and as you can see, stagger building pretty nicely, but my damage is just insane. I hope I can hit my stagger at this bro, but as I told you, we also at the same time leeching our damage, so we're almost unkillable and looking insane. That's like the biggest and coolest part of this build. And when we're fighting someone who is actually protected against our damage type, we can switch our damage type like pretty easily by just making full attack combination. So right now I'm having fire, and if I don't need fire, I just need to make full combination. So full combination will give me electric orb instantly. You will see this like final attack, it's pretty cool. And now we're hitting with lightning damage. Overall, this build gives the ability to spam like insane amount of spells, which is like at least just fun in my opinion. So I will try to build stagger on this enemy, but higher health enemies will always be triggered with a lot of stagger, and it's insanely like you will see it really good against big health bosses like dragons and other guys. So a little bit of fire for you. He is shocked. Oh my goodness. I guess it's time for my ultimate, and ultimate looks amazing. We're throwing this bird, which detonates like whole battlefield, and we instantly slowing down time for more fireball combinations, and destroying these arcane bombs, which jumping from target to target, and it's already a bunch of insanely overpowered damage on our targets. And as you can see, I just used my ultimate, but next fight I almost got one more ultimate already, so that's like the biggest and coolest part about this build, that you can like build a lot of ultimate and use it like almost every other fight, which is like completely cool, fun and insane in my opinion. Don't forget to blow up arcane bombs with double dagger throw. And if you're cornered against many targets, I like to just evade and attack every time to stagger my enemies and destroy them like this. Get a lot of benefits, a lot of bonuses. Fire up my ultimate because we're getting some ultimate points. More on that in a second when I explain how we do it, our skill tree later on. But as you can see, we easily staggering targets and doing final attacks with crazy amounts of damage, enhancing each ability. And if you don't know how to make attack my target effect, just pause into tactic menu and over here on the top ask your allies to attack your target, and your target will be instantly vulnerable to electric damage, and you will be unleashing crazy amounts of damage upon this awful and poor targets. And just like that. Yeah, if you don't know how I'm stopping the time, basically I'm not using this menu, I'm using quick cast buttons. I like to play it as action RPG, not like tactic RPG, but you can do however you like. Oh my goodness, jeez, what a poor dudes. I don't know, build looks amazing. That's probably one of the most powerful mages you can build in Dragon Age. So I guess it's time to understand how other parts of our build work right now. And just look at this advantages list. That's crazy how much buffs we get. So, basically, as I told you, that's our starting tree, and then we're aiming for the left part. After taking all nodes over here, we're taking this part over here to the left, and then when we hit level 40, we're taking part to the right. So, what we do in between? In between, first, our main focus will be over here. We want to go to the fireball as fast as possible, and when you get fireball, forget about this part. Just forget. And you want to go instantly into the top part first. So from this maximum mana plus 50, you want to go over here. You already probably have this 15% bonus to your abilities from your orb, but also then we get in mana regeneration plus 15%, and performing takedown grants shocking weapons. As I told you, you will deal a lot of stagger, and you will perform a lot of takedowns. So having this ability to activate shocking weapons is really great for other buffs for us. And then we want to pick light attack damage versus health. So this 4 nodes over here will be extremely late when we pick everything else. But for now we need to get back over here and then go to the top left first. Getting performing takedown grants 250 health and 20 ultimate. Again, we will do a lot of cool takedowns, but also stagger from weapon attacks plus 20%. It will be insanely nice addition to our build at around level 30. And then again, we completely forget about this part of the tree and going over here. And from damage versus armor plus 20%, we're going to the top right. We will take 15% less damage from enemies who are shocked, and we will easily shock enemies. And the coolest part, it will come right at the time when enemies will start to actually be a threat for us. So at around level 20 to 30, it's the hardest part of the game, and in my opinion. You will take lots of damage, but we will be a lot more protective at this time with this node. Then we take in takedown damage plus 15%, hitting enemies with at least 3 stacks of shocked costs chain of electric damage, but we don't care about this. We want maximum shocked stacks plus 1, and also strike abilities deal 10% more damage to enemies for each stack of shocked. So this will make our Void Blade insanely powerful, and don't look at this 1k damage of electricity. It's actually 2 damages at the same time, so deal damage twice. It's 2k damage, and that's almost the same damage as our ultimate. So this Void Strike is insanely overpowered with my skill tree. At this point we can take this electric damage plus 10% over here, and also we're taking this skill. We're not using this skill, but every skill we pick will give us ability damage plus 15%. And since our strike ability right now is extremely overpowered, we actually can go and finish all the nodes over here to the left. So we're getting defeating burning enemy grants rally party, we're getting maximum burning stacks plus 1, and blast abilities now deal 25% more detonation damage, and Arcane Shot now detonates sundered enemies. So this node will be needed because Lucanus can apply Sundered with this Debilitate skill, and we will be able to detonate it with our third skill. So it's nice for combinations, for detonations, And then we just taking notes over here around Fireball. So we're getting affliction damage plus 10%, we're getting critical damage plus 10, fire damage plus 10, light attacks that generate more mana, but it will be doubled against enemies with afflictions. And afflictions is any damage over time effect, and basically we will have shocked and burning effects all the time on our enemies, as you saw in the gameplay section. So it's like no-brainer, you will generate loads of mana. And Arcane Bomb damage plus 15% over here, 15% of your current mana bonus damage to blast abilities. That's like insane and cool part. So basically we start a fight with full mana, we unleash insane amount of damage, and then we just generate our mana with our light attacks, and then again we deal maximum damage. Advantage duration plus 20%, and blast abilities will grant resistant. That's more like late gameish stuff for your protection. We also can pick 20% more bonus stagger to enemies with affliction, so that's a great part to do more takedowns. And 5% bonus damage for each unique primer and affliction on your target. Again, we have a lot of afflictions and primers on our target. We will have Sundered, we will have Bleed, we will have Burning, Shocked conditions, and deal a lot more extra damage. And then we can finally like finish final like subtle touches over here. Enemies who inflict damage to you are chilled. Shield is affliction. It will deal cold damage over time, so enemy will hit us, we will deal more damage to him, and he will be slowed. Affliction damage plus 10%, nice subtle buff, and just pick any skills you like, but honestly build is ready long ago. Just go for the stagger nodes and have fun. Oh, let's try to fight versus boss a little bit with my build. So we need to break a crystals. Okay, lady. Let's do it. First of all, we need to break this little small guys. Oh. Okay. I like my advantages. Can I stagger this bro? Yeah. So, breaking crystals. Should be easy or not? How to break crystals? Oh, okay. Let's do it. Let's do it quickly. And I guess this bro will be able. I can detonate this stuff. Destroy this pack of guys. And what about you, my friend? You're my little boss, bro. You're vulnerable to my damage type, as I see. So let's not break this lightning orb. Instead, I'm using my lightning crow. Oh my god, what a damage, actually. Geez, so many magic. Looks amazing, actually. Okay, one more round. One more round. Breaking the locks. Can we detonate him? Let's apply. And detonating this bro. Oh my, what's going on? It's actually hard to build stagger on this guy for some reason. No, 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 no. Okay. I like that we are like pretty protected and he is doing almost no damage to us. We can actually easily survive on low health and do more damage. Oh! Oh! Okay. Thank you, Belara, for auto-healing me. Oh my! And finishing him with Fireball? No! But he's down. I hope you enjoy this awesome build for Spellblade in Dragon Age Veilguard. Make sure to watch other cool videos on the screen and see you there.